What it do, YouTube? Shout out to my Pats Nation out there. Shout out to my boy OG Tyson, Parks, and Byron, my people down there at Atlanta Patriots. This is another YouTube, and this is a video that I meant to do earlier this week, but golly, it's hot as hell. My bad, y'all. I'm in Fargo, North Dakota, y'all, and it's freaking 80 degrees. Right around this time, man, it's usually snowing. I'm shocked that we almost towards October, and it's sunny as fucking Florida. But anyway, this video is pretty much about how I became a Pats fan and why I became a Pats fan. And, you know, if anybody knows, man, who knows me personally, I've been rocking with the Pats since 1999. And when you look through that whole transgression, throughout that whole period, man, it's like Patriots just been so dominant for pretty much for almost 2 decades. And I know some people will say, well, you became a Brady fan, that's when you became a fan. And I would say, technically yes or no, because Drew Bledsoe was still our quarterback when I became a fan. And we didn't even have Bill Belichick. We still had Pete Carroll, who was now, well, not now, but he's been the head coach since then, Seattle Seahawks, and before that, the University of Southern California. But the reason why the Patriots, I became close and fond to them is because, one, I ain't like the goddamn Falcons, because at the time, that's when I was living in Atlanta. And this was a couple years before I came down from Stamford, Connecticut, because if you don't know, I was in foster care before I became adopted to my adoptive parents. So I was in foster care in group home from LA, which is where I'm originally from, 95th and Normandy, all the way up to Stamford, Connecticut. I was there for about a year, and then I came down to Augusta, and that's when I met my family and stuff. And I guess I go ahead and tell a little bit about my life as well, and this, you know, how I became a Patriots fan. But on June 2nd, so I'm a Gemini, and like I said, I'm originally from Los Angeles, California. I would say, you know, I'm not a bandwagon fan, but I would say that, you know, I didn't start getting interested in football until I was 8 years old. At that time, before that, I didn't too much really care for the sport. It was fun and all, and at the time, I just loved individual players. And that was about it. You know, Barry Sanders was pretty cool, man. Deion Sanders prime time. You know, you had your Michael Irvin, he was dope. Jerry Rice, and you know, I wasn't that old enough to remember Joe Montana, but I remember Steve Young. So that I can remember the Jaguars when they had that good team. That's when Tom Coughlin was coaching, when they had Jimmy Smith and Keenan McCardell. You know, it was very, you had some very talented players, and I guess I would say that it was a good time to be a fan of any team, because you just had a lot of talent. And my thing was that my first love was basketball and boxing. I'm a huge boxing fan. My boy is Roy Jones Jr. and James Lights Out Tony. So I never really liked team sports. I've always been individualistic, and so I was always about individual, accomplishment. because I felt like, you couldn't take away from people's accomplishment what they did. Like, if it's a team sport, then let's say like somebody like LeBron, if he sits over here, hits a game winner, he'll get all the credit, but kind of like the team kind of helped him to get that last shot. You know what I'm saying? So it's almost like a half and half. Yeah, he'll get all the credit, but it's like the team, when you argue that, people will say that, well, nah, when you win rings and championship, it's a team sport. The same way they do former quarterback Tom Brady. Like, so y'all talk about 6 rings. It's a team sport. Y'all must have forgot. This team was the one who carried him there, even though he was the one that carried really that offense. I mean, if you look at it, like, we never really had like superstar type wide receivers or offense, other than when we had Wes Welker and Randy Moss, which he's past his prime, in which we rejuvenated his career when he came to us, and Gronkowski, and then Edelman. So, but I know people uptown was sitting there arguing that Edelman is not an All-Pro, where shit don't matter. That nigga produce points and that nigga produce yards, and he is clutch. So, I mean, All-Pro, that's really based on the fans, to be honest with you. Because to be honest, he should have made the All-Pro last year. That man had over 1,000-yard receiving. So, I mean, so technically, like it really boils down to the fans. But anyway, so I ended up being fond to the Pats. One was, I like the dope colors. It's always navy blue and red, those type of mixed colors. It's called, I always love those colors, man. And two, the logo, I thought they had like the dopest logo. And 3, their defense was literally, in my opinion, they had a pretty good solid defense, especially with Willie McGinnis. My thing is, I think he was like, I would have to say he's probably like the top 5 linebackers that we've had, in Patriots history, and, in my opinion. If any Pat fans, if you have a different opinion, just let me know in the comment section. But, that and my favorite player before even Tom, because to be honest, Tom's still not even my top favorite player, even though he got 6 rings. My favorite player was Ty Law. Number 24, the 24. That 24, that the defensive player of the year last year named Stephon Gilmore, that number he's wearing, Ty Law had that shit first, homie. So that's my boy. And then my second favorite is Big C, Richard Seymour. University of Georgia, which, I'm a Bulldog fan because of course, I attended the college. So, I mean, that as well. So, and ever since then, and plus they was like, to me, an underdog team. Even though they lost that Super Bowl against the Packers 2 years ago, that was 1997, they lost that, and I actually watched that game. And to be honest, even though I wasn't the fan at the time, I still rooted for them. I still did. And I don't think they played that bad. I mean, it was just embarrassing that a fucking special teams player, what's the nigga name, Desmond King, won the fucking Super Bowl MVP. That shit is embarrassing, man. But but I think that was a hard fought loss, man. And I think they did very well. Especially if you look at the weapons that they had, man. I mean, Patriots, we wasn't too known to have like superstar type wide receivers when we look at our history with all the weapons that we had. I think when you look at back, and I'm still doing my history search, my history homework, but I know during the 80s, I think, in my opinion, that the top talent wide receivers we ever had as a duo was Urban Fryer and fucking Stanley Morgan. So, but yeah, and then but back to the transgressing. But yeah, man. So ever since that time, I just went ahead and just said, you know what? I actually like this team, so I'm actually going to choose them, and I've been with them ever since. And I'm not no bandwagon, because I could have easily left and become a fucking a Lambs fan, because like I am originally from LA. But see, when I was born, I think, what team was there in 1995? I think it was the Chargers that left somebody, but I don't think it was the Raiders. I think Raiders was in Oakland already, so it had to have been the Chargers. If I'm wrong, somebody correct me in the chat. It was 1994, 1995, but I was 4 years old. I couldn't tell you motherfuckers who was on that team. I didn't know. A lot of people, when I was a youngin', a lot of them was either Oakland Raider fans, but that's because they was in LA before. So that's people like in their like 40s, 50s, and 60s and on. Like, you seen a lot of those. Hell, Snoop Dogg's a fucking Steelers fan, but the thing is, though, nobody questioned him because he was born in that day. So he would have been the one that you would have to ask, like, why wasn't you a Raiders fan? Nigga, you had a football team. I kind of, only up to the age 4, like, we didn't have no football team for 2 decades. Fucking the Ram came back in just about 5 years ago? Those are paid fans. Those are not actual true fans. Those are paid fans, or it's fans who didn't give a fuck about football and they just rooting for something because there's a team in LA. That's all that is. So I was like, no. I mean, a Rams fan, nah. I said I've been rocking with the Patriots since 1999, and plus that's not in me to sit over here and bandwagon, regardless if they lose or not. I mean, Tom Brady is gone. Well, was you a Tom Brady fan or was you just a Patriot fan? No, nigga, I am a Patriot fan, regardless if Tom Brady left or not. So, I mean, it doesn't matter. Yeah, I would still be a fan if we started Jarrett Stidham. It wouldn't matter. I mean, if you lose, it does not matter. I'm still with the team. So, I just can't, I don't bandwagon shit like that. Once I choose, that's who I'm going to rock with. Just like I rock, like people say that the sorry ass Bulldogs, hey, it is what it is. I've been walking with them since we had, the head coach was Jim Donnan. That's a long time ago. And the funny thing is, our head coach, when I was a fan with the Bulldogs, Kirby Smart was playing with him in college. He was a defensive back then. So, hell yeah, I've been a fan of my teams for a while. So, oh man, hold on, let me put my phone down so I won't get caught by DOT. You know, I can't have the phone in my hand and driving. Let me put that shit on this my iPhone there. But yeah, man, so, you know, and that's a little bit about me. I'll have a part 2 about learning, you know, about Pharoah, the story about Pharoah, tell you about my life and how I came in the truck driving, how I came up having passion for like cars and shoes and traveling, man. Stay tuned for that video that's coming around. And depending on if I can get over 300 subscribers, I'm gonna start doing live streams. So, and further down the line, I'm gonna start inviting people on panels. So, right now I'm just getting started, and you know, I'm actually enjoying this YouTube shit, man, because I wasn't gonna make any videos, but shout out to Byron, man. He kind of forced that out of me because he was like, man, you gonna do that hate week video, Pharoah? You gonna do it? So, hey, like I said, once I start something, I gotta keep on with it. I gotta keep doing it. So, you know, be looking out for that hate week for Patriots versus Raiders for week 3. I believe we playing them. Yeah, we playing them in Vegas, so that's gonna be very fun. Cause to be honest with you, if anybody follow my IG or Facebook, which a lot of y'all probably don't, but some people who subscribe on my Facebook, you will see that I went through Vegas a couple times while they was building the Allegiant Stadium out there in Vegas. That shit look cool as fuck, man. That shit look like some Darth Star off of Star Wars or some shit, man. So it's a beautiful stadium, man. It's very nice. So stay tuned. We finna get at these Gruden grinders, man. Sorry, Uptown, that your Saints lost to them, man. Breeze a little washed, man. I'm sorry, my nigga. I mean, he doesn't have the Benjamin Button disease. You can't reverse father time, just like Tom. I mean, they just two old men. This is funny, man. Two old mans playing against each other, man. That's like you compare SSI checks, man. We'll give your boy Breeze a double ARP card and some shit, man, and buy him a Buick. So, but shout out to my boy Uptown. That's OG, man. That's the mental defense, man. Shout out to everybody in the TTC, man. Not the D League type niggas, man. As my boy Simons would say, not you D League niggas, but the real TTC, man. Hey, they helping me groom in this thing, man. Shout out to y'all, man. It's nothing but love. Shout out to all my Pats out there, man. Shout out to, you know, shout out to the. Hold on, but what I was about to say, well, shout out to everybody, y'all family, man. We're gonna get it popping, man. Be tuned in for that hate week, Patriots versus Raiders. I'm gonna drop that bitch Saturday. I'm also going to drink week 1 for my Bulldogs because we playing Arkansas. That's going to be an away game, and come to find out, that's a limit. They letting people in too, but it's limited fans, of course. But for all the SEC games, it's they're gonna let people in. I've already started looking at tickets. So I'm just trying to choose which week I'm gonna come home to, because I'm gonna catch a game this year. I'm gonna go ahead and catch a game instead of just tailgating at the stadiums. But y'all stay tuned, man. Appreciate y'all, man. And Pats Nation, let's go.